Hey, it's Barb here from CDN Technologies, and I'm presenting at the Datto Roadshow in Richmond Hill, Toronto. Good stuff. So here in Toronto, or in Canada, I was wondering how many of you heard about the economic bubble in Toronto that could pop because of real estate? Right. And how many of you would be surprised to know that there are a number of options that will let you prosper, whether that bubble pops or not? All right. Well, thank you all for staying here and hearing me talk. And I want to thank Rob and the team from Datto for coming to the 6th and putting together this event for us. There's a lot of work that happens behind the scenes, so I just wanted to say thank you. But today I would like to share with you some ideas that will get you thinking about what is happening in the economy and how we in the IT industry can prosper, regardless if that bubble pops or not. My name is Barb, and for those of you who are not eating and are taking notes, Paluskowicz is spelled the exact way it sounds, Paluskowicz. I'm the CEO of CDN Technologies and author of IT Scams, How to Avoid Being Ripped Off by Your Computer Guy in IT Services. Since 1989, CDN Technologies has been providing managed services in Mississauga and the surrounding areas, and we are so confident about the market and our industry that we are on an aggressive growth strategy. So today I would like to share with you some thoughts about our industry so that you will have some ideas that you can take back right away and use them in your business so that you can move forward in a profitable direction. Now, when I have something important to say, I'm going to ask you to stop eating. So right now, I'm going to ask you to stop eating, okay? Because I do have a fun experiment that I want to do with you. And I need a volunteer. So can someone please volunteer? Sean's always my guy. He's my partner in crime at Mississauga Board of Trade. He shows up at the industry events. Can you please hold on to this?
Okay.
All right. Okay. Now, I want you all to think of a number between 1 and 10. Okay? If it's a small number, you know what? It's easy because you don't have to really be good at math. So please think of a number between 1 and 10 and keep it in your head. Now I want you to double it. All right? Now I want you to add 6. Is everyone still with me? Stop eating. You can't do two things at once. Math can sometimes be hard. I want you to divide that number by 2. Now I want you to subtract your original number from the number you have now. Add 6, divide by 2, and I bet that whatever your answer is, that Sean has the exact number of dimes in that yellow envelope. Do you guys all have your answer? What's your answer? Anyone, someone? 4.5. Sean, how many dimes do you have?
4.5. You even cut the 1.5. But Steve wants 10%.
Steve wants 10%. Well, our focus at CDN Technologies is to always make sure that we cover our bases. We always focus on everything, including that half dime. So as the economy changes, we're in a position to help. We can help people who are struggling. We can help people who are in a position to grow. And that we want to make sure that we are in a position to always make sure that our team, it has job security. So we monitor issues all day long. As I talk to my customers, and as I've been working in this industry, as a business owner talking to other business owners, I've been able to identify 8 major concerns that every business needs to address and prosper long term. I'll quickly go through them all, but I'm going to spend a lot of time on infrastructure and investment because that's where all the time and money goes. You can spend a lot of money on infrastructure and investments, but if you don't have clients to bankroll you, you can go out of business really fast because you can't cover your overhead. Security is a big thing in our industry, especially during these economic times. Whether it's security for yourself or whether it's your client's security, you want to protect it. You do not want to be that guy that loses it. I've seen it happen. One of the scariest things, and it scares me the most, and it makes me feel really sad, is when you have people that are really smart, got a lot of brains, but they don't understand security, and they don't understand infrastructure and investment, and they lose it all. We've seen this happen south of the border. The economic bubble in real estate popped. And not only does it affect people's businesses, it affects their home lives. It affects their relationship with their spouse. It affects their relationship with their kids, because now there's no money coming in. As a mom, as a wife, I want to make sure that my kids are safe. I want to make sure that everything is secure. So one of the things that we do at CDN is to make sure our infrastructure is solid so that the people who work for us don't have to worry about anything. And the companies that we acquire, they're able to come under our umbrella and they can feel secure and they can feel safe. Changing technologies in our industry is also a big concern. There are so many choices these days. There are so many cloud platforms. There are so many mobile devices. Unless your organization is of a certain size, you're going to fall behind very quickly over the next couple of years, which will put you out of competitiveness. And changing technologies segments to education and training. And education and training is a major concern because you have to invest in yourself and you have to invest in your staff. It's a lot of work to be doing your jobs and then coming out to vendor events and staying on top of webinars. Hiring is stressful. Training new people is a lot of work. And then there's always the education that we give our staff, and then we give them too many marketable skills and they leave us high and dry and they go elsewhere. So as you're developing your infrastructure, as you're developing your systems in your organization, there's always a period of time where it's very difficult, and if you don't have the systems and structures in place, it can collapse and everything can be very stressful, and when stress levels goes up for business owners, it's not good. One of the things that we have focused on at CDN Technologies is to make sure that we have the systems and structures in place in anticipation of any shift in the market. At CDN, it doesn't matter if the market goes up or down. We're positioned either way. So one of the things that I suggest that you take a look at when you go back to your office is, if you lost your biggest client, would you be able to survive? If there was a dramatic shift in the economy like there was down south, would you be able to survive? Is your company in a position where you're going to be able to grow, or are you going to have to focus on infrastructure and investment, and are you going to have to focus on retooling instead of going out and servicing your clients and building your business then? This is the one question I've asked CDN Technologies many times over and over and over as we've been building. If something happens, are we going to get caught up in non-revenue generating activities, or are we going to have everything in place? At CDN, we're going to be able to move forward in a positive revenue generating way. And this is something that you want to take a look at in the next little while for your company. And for those of you who are really putting structure into place and getting infrastructure set up, Datto is awesome. It has lots of opportunities where you can automate so you don't have to hire people. One of the reasons we've taken such an aggressive growth through strategy acquisition is because we've been able to focus on infrastructure and investment in the last few years. Customer service is a major concern. We want happy customers, not sad customers, not indifferent customers, happy customers. But meeting the needs of clients is becoming more and more difficult as customers are becoming more and more nervous. When things like who's been hacked gets into mainstream media, people get nervous. When they have to call to verify transactions in their bank, they get nervous. When we scare the bejesus of them to buy a BDR solution, they get nervous. And then for those of us who approach the business model through a positive position and do business with integrity, the market is abundant and we can all work together and we can all help each other grow. Losing customers hurts. Whatever the reason, a business closes, the owner retires, there's health issues, change of interest, losing customers sucks. But when the economy tightens and more people IT get laid off and they start their own little bitty tiny business, they don't understand everything that we've covered up to this point, and they're not going to be able to survive. But in the meantime, they're going to create the illusion in our industry that pricing should be dropped dramatically. There are going to be people who enter the marketplace who are here for the short term, and they don't understand the importance of long term, and they race to the bottom with their pricing. So if you're not taking advantage of the latest technology and you don't have efficient systems in place, you're going to be vulnerable and forced out of business because of this growing competition. Because our industry, selling new clients is an industry concern, because technical people are not salespeople. Technical people dominate our industry, not salespeople. Technical people get excited when they get a new customer. You know what, they can build something, they can do the job. It excites them the most. And in this industry, if you're not growing, you're shrinking. And as we go into the next phase of the economy, growth is going to be critical. I believe the market is abundant. I believe that everybody who does business with integrity can work within this market, and we don't have to take business from each other. We can support each other because the market is that big. The ones that don't do business with integrity, you know what, they're just going to disappear anyways because people aren't going to want to do business with them. But everyone who does business in a positive environment and with integrity, the market is abundant and we can all work together and we can all grow. Datto is in a great position to help us automate. And what I mean by automation is allowing you to service your clients better at a more cost-effective rate. So that gives you the opportunity to deal with margins more effectively, enabling you to be more competitive in the marketplace. So we've been very mindful when it comes to managing our fixed costs, and one of the things that we do at CDN is we've gone through everything. For years we've been looking at how we're going to manage this growth and how we're going to grow through acquisitions so that people who are frustrated and tired and don't know what it is that they're going to do next, those are the people that we want to talk to. So if you know of anybody that's in that position, please keep us in mind. Just text Datto to 647-360-5777. Because not only at CDN Technologies are we acquiring businesses, we're growing. So if someone has a business and they're just getting frustrated and dealing with all the costing and the infrastructure and the overhead and fixed cost, you know what, come work for us. We're growing, we need people, we need experience. So if you're more comfortable having a paycheck every Friday and not worry about all the other stuff, the administration that goes on in running business, we spend a lot of time and money and effort building our infrastructure and solid systems to make sure that we can manage growth. So if you need to get in touch with me, just text 647-360-5777.
I'm Rob, I'm with Datto, and Barb did a fantastic presentation for our partners today talking about how she goes to market with her solution, and it was awesome, well received, and we appreciate you coming out and doing that and supporting the Datto community.
Awesome, thanks for having me, Rob.